You know, I may be called the Mississippi King, but, at least my name isn't Achu.
Bless you!
But this is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to Let's Play Mega Man 8, the first part, known in Japan as Rockman 8 Metal Heroes. And in this episode, we're going to get through some few obstacles. We won't get very far, but this intro is actually recapping the events of the previous 7 games. They're pretty cool. And yeah, we've started on that game. The one with all of the anime, and the voice acting, and music, and the excellent music. Seriously, this intro sequence is awesome. And I love the music, it's freaking epic. Like, say what you will about this game, the music is amazing. I will defend this game's music. And since there's voice acting, I guess I finally won't have to voice the characters like I did in Mega Man 7, seriously. It's nice to have some voice acting this time. I won't have to, voice things, but yeah, this intro is epic and I freaking love it. So, it's off to a great start if you ask me, but what could remain for us? Who knows what lies in store for us? This is Mega Man 8. And well, before you start the game, I would recommend going down to the options menu so you can set your controls right, so that you can ensure that, the special weapon is set to the triangle button and shoot is set to square. That's how I prefer to play this game, and it's a minor tweak, but fortunately for me, I already did that off screen. And since I'm going to be talking over the cutscenes, I figured I may as well add in some subtitles, just for the sake of it. I find it to be that much more convenient, because it's I do want to be able to talk over it, but I don't want people to, mishear it. So now that they've got voice acting, I bet they've got, top-tier voice actors. Many people who are just the best of the best, who could... Well, we'll get to that, but surely the voice acting is good. But how does the game itself fare? Well, to be honest, it's kind of one of the weaker entries in this series. It's my second least favorite numbered title, next to Mega Man 5. The one thing it has going for it over Mega Man 5, though, is that it has much better weapons. And I'll bet the voice actors are amazing, or, I guess they just hired random nobodies off the street and thought it would pass for great voice acting. There are so many jokes I can make about this scene that I'm actually not going to make any. I'm going to save that until the cutscene is over, and then I'm going to make a top 10 list of jokes that I could make about the cutscene and how the voice acting is terrible. A top 10 list of jokes. And before anyone asks, the quote-unquote typos in the subtitles are intentional. Because I sure do love making fun of the 90s. That horrible voice acting.
I'm on it.
It's
Thank you, Mega Man.
terrible.
If you can, please bring the media
But
back.
anyway,
Okay.
now it's on to the top 10 jokes that I could make about this scene. Number 10. Why is Mega Man calling bass bass? do the developers think that people with deeper voices are helpless fish? That's racist!
Number 9.
Bass? So that's the mysterious fish man that keeps showing up in the credits.
Number 8.
Dr. Light has a serious case of the Elmo floods, so I guess it's fish season for bass.
Number 7.
We are not enemies. Did you forget the entirety of the last game?
Number 6.
The voice actors are talking very quietly because they must be recording the dialogue in their friends' apartments in the middle of the night.
Number 5.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting Bass!
Number 4.
Bass has suddenly transformed into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Number 3.
Bass is also somehow edgier than Shadow the Hedgehog. Hey, wait a minute!
The most powerful hedgehog in the world!
Number 2.
Mega Man, on the other hand, sounds more like a girl than Roll does.
Number 1.
Yeah. What's up,
Dr.
Doc?
Light.
Oh wait, wrong franchise. And now it's time to begin the intro stage proper. Yeah. So you can jump and shoot and slide and do all the things you could from previous games, except that now it feels like everything is flooded in molasses. I know it's not the most original analogy, but it does feel pretty slow, and I realize that Mega Man games aren't exactly known for their speed or anything. Oh, and also, here's Rush, who comes to give you the Mega Ball. I'm not gonna read all of the text, maybe some of it, but not all. And he just gives you the Mega Ball, and that basically serves as the rough equivalent to Rush Coil, because, like, you can actually bounce off of it, and they don't tell you this. Gee, I'm getting some Mega Man 7 flashbacks! But you can use it to, like, sort of double jump if you would use it while it's in the air. Like, I'll show it off a little later. But it's really neat, and I think it is a welcome change that is very much appreciated. Oh, and watch this! You can use your Mega Buster! Wow, a special weapon is equipped! That is awesome! Like, seriously, I love that addition! It's a bit of a shame that it took them this long to do something like this, but yeah, I'll take it. I love this addition. It is very much appreciated because you won't have to, like, constantly switch back to your main weapon. And as you can see now, Mega Man can actually swim for the first time. It's kinda neat. It's not an amazing innovation, but it's still kinda cool. But I feel I should mention the intro stage scene for Above Ground is awesome. Like, it is just freaking epic. I love this game's soundtrack, and it definitely has the best sound front in the entire series. I don't think it has the best soundtrack, but it is still amazing. But it has the best sound front. And yeah, I just love this music. Oh, and here's the double jump in action, by the way. You just use it while you're in the middle of the air, while you're at roughly the peak of your jump, and you just drop a Mega Ball and you can bounce even higher. That will actually come in handy for a lot of platforming challenges, but here we're introduced to the boss of the intro stage, Yado Cargo. Seriously, how did they come up with these names? And he's pretty easy. Like, look at that, I just massacred, like, the Mega Ball. is ridiculously easy. Oh, and Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wowie.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Wally. He's here. And, get a load of this. How did you find my secret base? I'm impressed. It's on an island shaped like a skull. Are you an idiot, Dr. Wally? That is the worst secret base I have ever seen. You are an idiot, Wally. Building a secret base on an island shaped like a skull, that is just about the worst place you could have put it. Because that's not suspicious at all. It's like you choose to represent yourself with a skull. Like you chose a skull to be your symbol, and you decided to just hide out in an island that's shaped like a skull. That's totally not suspicious or anything. I'll explain what the bolts do later, but here we are. At the stage select screen, and just like Mega Man 7, we've got 4 Robot Masters to choose from. Only 4. We've got Tango Man, Frost Man, Grenade Man, and Clown Man. So I'm actually going to be tackling Grenade Man first. He's got a pretty good weapon. And so, I've been praising this game a lot so far, I mean, apart from the legendary voice acting, which, you know, speaks for itself, but nevertheless, I do still enjoy a lot of things about this game. However, I just feel that the level design is kinda lacking. It's bland and somewhat forgettable, to be honest. I mean, to be clear, this game isn't quite... like, I enjoy it more than Mega Man 5, to be clear. And one thing that I think this has going for it over Mega Man 5 is that it has some awesome weapons. And that's one thing that I could not say about Mega Man 5. The weapons in that game were merely alright at best. And in this game, a lot of them are pretty useful, in fact. I really love the Flash Bomb, the Ice Wave we'll see later, and there are others as well. There are at least 5 good weapons if you don't count the Mega Ball. And I do find the Mega Ball itself to be pretty useful. Grenade Man's stage, however, is kinda generic. It's not bad, but it's just sort of samey. And I do enjoy this game, though, and I don't think that the classic series, well, the numbered classic series, has had a bad Mega Man game. They've got some pretty good things. Also, one thing to note is that whenever you die, you actually get a complete refill on your weapon energy. Like, all of it's refilled. This was not the case in previous games. It's kind of interesting. I don't really know how I feel about it. But anyway, the bolts which I keep collecting, you may be thinking that they do the same thing that they did in Mega Man 7, and you're kinda right, but they don't really function the same way. And that's that they instead are only finite. There are only 40 bolts in this game, and you can't collect any more. And thus the things you can choose in the shop are noticeably more limited. And you can't pick the same things. Instead, you pick upgrades from the shop. Instead of, like, things that would give you, like, more lives or energy tanks. or weapon tanks, or special tanks. Like, that's another thing. There are no energy tanks in this game, for the first time since the original. Not that it really matters, since this game is easy enough as is, so I don't even really need to use energy tanks. There is, however, a thing that will allow you to heal yourself, and we'll cover that later. For the moment, just take my word that there is something that you can get that will help you heal. But nevertheless, Grenade Man's stage it's bland, but it is fun. And also, get a load of what his info card says. Apparently, he loves getting caught in the explosions of things. I will repeat that. He likes getting caught in explosions. Dr. Wowie designed a robot that likes getting blown up. You really are an idiot, Dr. Wowie. Seriously? You thought it was a good idea to design him so that he likes getting blown up? That is asking for trouble. Like, that is just asking for him to, like, get blown up. Seriously? You thought that was a good idea? Whatever. This stage is still going on, by the way. It's not even that interesting. And just like in Mega Man 4, you're limited to only 4 Robot Masters at a time, and I don't think I need to bother saying this. There are 8 Robot Masters. It's not really a spoiler, so it's like, I may as well get that out of the way. And just like in Mega Man 4, I do not like that change. Seriously, why do they keep thinking that limiting our choices is a good thing? It is not. Now, mind you, I do still enjoy Mega Man 7, and I also like Mega Man 8 to a lesser extent, a much lesser extent. However, Mega Man 8 doesn't even give you the option to fight with all 8 Robot Masters. You have to take out the first 4 before you can take out the remaining ones. I don't like that change. And in Mega Man 7, they did give you an alternative way to, like, fight all 8. Except that they removed that from the version that I'm playing. Yes, I'm still salty about that, sue me. And in this game, like, it's mandatory, well, kinda mandatory to use all of the items in future stages, so it's like they'd have to redesign the stages just to fix this, just to make it so that you could fight all 8 Robot Masters. Because you do need the tornado hole in one of the stages that's coming up. I mean, like one of the 4 that we haven't seen yet. And it's like, I don't think that's good design. So, I mean, that is one thing that Mega Man 4 has going for it over Mega Man 8. I will admit that. Is that, at least Mega Man 5 didn't pull that crap. I mean, still, I don't much care for any of the weapons in that game, but, you know, at least you could still fight all 8 Robot Masters in any order you desire. But no, not in Mega Man 8, apparently. And the Get a Weapon theme in this game is amazing, too. Just as a side note. And next up, I'm going to be tackling Tango Man. And I really only think I'll be able to take out Tango Man in this video. Just Grenade Man and Tango Man. Which I know may seem like it's not a lot, and well, to the days of me being able to, like, take out 6 robot masters in one video like I did for the original are long over. Hence, in this game, I can, like, manage a third of that. Because this game is noticeably more drawn out, and it certainly doesn't help that it feels like this game is drowning in molasses. I just don't like how slow this game is. That's another thing I don't like. But Tango Man's stage is pretty good, and his stage theme is also awesome. Although I do prefer the Saturn version, which, you know, for some reason, the Saturn version of this game has a different music piece for Tango Man's stage. I don't know why, but it apparently has. And I prefer the Saturn version, but it's still pretty good. That's one thing I feel I should say. I'm playing this off of the Legacy Collection 2, and that version is based off of the PlayStation version. And so that's one thing that I feel I should say, is that a lot of people generally regard the PlayStation version as inferior, but from what I've heard about the Saturn version, it doesn't really sound like it would be that much better. I mean, the things that they've added do seem cool, but just not something that I'd be interested in. And here's a very interesting section. You have, like, a shoot-em-up section with Rush Jet. And this is actually pretty clever. I like how they decided to shift things up, and that's a neat gameplay thing. And I like how it just changes up the formula and whatnot. It's pretty fun, I must say. The Tango Man's stage is not a stage that I like to replay, but it is fun. And I do enjoy it more than Grenade Man's stage, because at least it stands out. At least it's not generic.
Ready.
That's one thing that I do like about this game, is that even though I do say that it's kind of bland, they do, like, mix things up by introducing new elements. And also, you can grab from the balloon thingies, I don't know what they're called, but you can grab from them some power-ups, and these give you the ability to, like, well, they grant you extra partners, like Eddie, who can drop bombs lower, Otto, who fires rockets ahead, or it can enable Rush to shoot in 3 directions, and also Beat, which targets enemies just like you did in Mega Man 5 and 6. And I believe that's all, well, that's all that's coming to mind. But, yeah, that's gives you quite an arsenal if you can get all of that, which means that by the end of these sections, you may end up turning into an unstoppable machine. And this stage goes by fairly long, and the reason I don't like replaying it, and believe me, we will have to replay it, I'm not looking forward to that, but yeah, the reason I don't like it is that very section, which, though I think it is innovative, it's not one that I like playing through repeat playthroughs, because you can't control the speed of it. You can't, like, make sure that it goes by any faster, because it goes by at its own pace, and you just have to, like, keep going. Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up, but still, this stage is pretty enjoyable, and I like how the wind is a factor. It provide some interesting, fun, natural challenge. Well, maybe not challenge, but some fun platforming. And it's neat being able to see what you can do with the wind and whatnot. So, we're actually coming up on Tengu Man himself. And the checkpoint system works really weird in this game because it's like, whenever you die, then for some reason you would start back at one's checkpoint. However, if you get a game over, you start back at the last checkpoint. If you get a game over, you start back at area 2 or 1. But if you die, you start back at a more recent checkpoint than that. It's really weird and almost makes lives completely pointless, but not exactly. Not in the ways that, like, Mega Man X5 and X6 make them completely pointless. Like, for example, I died just there, and I restarted at the place after the bubble thing. And if you died to the boss, then you restart back in the boss room. But if you get a game over in the boss room, then, like, you'd have to do the whole thing over again. Like, you'd start back at the place with the airship.
Kid, you're almost not worth the effort.
Also, I died off screen. But Tengu Man can actually be kind of annoying to fight with his weakness, which is not the weapon that I am fighting him with. I'm tackling him second because I really like his weapon, and I think it will definitely make Frostman's stage more fun. It's really great for taking out enemies above and below you. But what I like to do is use a combination of the Mega Buster and the Flash Bomb. It's really effective against him, and it should take him down without much of a problem. However, I died to him off screen because his stage, his battle arena, has a bottomless pit. He can knock you into it. That is pretty annoying. But I guess that's it for this episode. Join me next time when we tackle the next 2 Robot Masters and the mid-stage. This is the Mississippi King signing out. See y'all then.